Okay, so moving on now, we have this one, the start of lesson. This is supposed to be 13, I think. 多大, as in how large, but we've already seen. Oh no, we haven't actually seen that one before. It's simply building on how, as in 多少, how much, but then it's in this case it's how big. So 多大. And that can help us say not just how big, but also how old, because old and age refers to is often referred to as small or large or small simply. 你多大, as in how big are you, or how old are you. Then we say 山, and this is a mountain, it just looks like one. And then together with sunset, which is the bottom there, we get 岁, which is years old. And we can say 一个, one. But then we can also say, or we can say 一块 as well. That should have a hashtag next to it. We can also say 一岁, as in 1 year old. Fantastic, 1 year old. And we can do this because 岁 is also a measure word. So it's a measure word for, as you can see here, for years. So 1 year old would be 一岁. Fantastic. Now we say 我10岁. I'm 10 years old. Perfect. 我25岁. I'm 25 years old. Perfect. 我25岁. Note that we don't say 是 as in I am. We just say I 25 years old because it just works like any other adjective would have done. Okay, now we have 心, and this means heart. It just looks like a heart, doesn't it? It's also a very, very common building block. 小心 is a wonderful little word. You can see it on toilets a lot, or if someone's just washed or cleaned the floor, then we say be careful, have a small little heart, be respectful and I guess careful. 中心 is a middle heart, so that is your kingdom. No, it's not. It's your center. 门 is what do we see here? We see gate, and that is pronounced 门, so that gives us that pronunciation. That is the sound part, as we know from before, hopefully. And now we also, inside, we see heart. So heart plus being inside. A heart being trapped inside, that means you're depressed. And then we have 我很闷, I'm very depressed. I'm very depressed. Perfect. 您, heart on the bottom there. You polite, simply. It's the polite way to say you. So we can say 你好, or we can say 您好, 您好. Perfect. Now we have this one, squished to the left. We've seen it before. So we've actually seen the character for heart before. We saw it, for instance, when we saw 恨, as in to hate someone. Now we're going to, that came from, and then, now we're going to learn a new one, and it's going to build on by. So remember that this is pronounced by, and it means white. However, now it's white still, and it's pronounced pa. I think those two are very similar looking. And it's got heart there. So a white heart means you are afraid. 我很怕, I'm very scared. So that is another adjective. We don't have to say 是, we just say 我怕 or 我很怕. 我很胖 sounds funny because it's easy to remember. 我很胖, I'm very fat. So I'm very pa. I very pa means I'm scared. I'm very 胖 means I am very fat. 可怕的, so very scary of something, and that means terrible. 要 would mean to want, or to actually be going to, or to should something. So what we can say now is you should not, because now we start talking about 要 meaning not just to want something, but also to having to do with obligation. So 不要 would be don't want to do something, but also like to don't simply, to shouldn't or to don't, as in don't scare me or don't walk out that door. Don't, just 不要. 不要, for instance, 怕我, as in you look scary, you tell a little girl, little girl, 不要怕我, 不要怕我. Perfect, don't be afraid of me simply. 不要打我, don't hit me. If that little girl is hitting you, you can say 不要打我, I'm scared of you now. Then we say 开, and that means open. It looks quite funny, I think. It looks like a door that is about to be opened, I think, somehow. And we move on to 开门. 开门 would be to open a door. Perfect. And then we have 不要开门, 不要开门. So don't open the door. Don't open the door. Perfect. So don't open the door. I think that's quite straightforward. Now we learned a new character. I'm giving you a hashtag here because you don't really know the parts. The two ones on the left, on the right, you actually know them. You've seen them before, but we'll go through them later on because they are together. They form another independent looking character that is very good. 始 is 始 means to begin, a beginning. Start simply I wrote. 开始 would be a start or to start or to begin. Perfect. 我可以开始吗? Can I start? 我可以开始吗? Sorry, you shouldn't have the third tone there, otherwise it looks perfect. So can I start? 我可以开始吗？打开 would mean to open, but to like open with force, isn't to use your hand or something like that. Probably a bottle we're talking about here. 开心, sorry, 开心 would be happy, happy. It's an open heart. I love that word. Open heart, 开心. Guan would be the opposite. It looks evil because it's got two horns there. So that means to close. Otherwise, it's heaven actually. So that's the one closing heaven is evil, obviously. 关门 to close the door. 关心 would be to close. This is actually quite nice then. To close your heart around people. That means to care about them. 关心. 开关 is the last one for today, and that is 开关. That is to switch, a switch simply, because you open or you turn off and you turn on. And this is important now because we know that 开 doesn't only mean to open but also to turn on. Similar to that, similarly, we also have 关 meaning to close but also to turn off. So to open, to turn off, to turn on, to turn off, to turn on. What does that? Well, that is a switch. A